I can always get a job. I always can get a job. We're going to get started here in a minute. I'm going to say hi to the people that are jumping online and also my inner circle and my super chatters. So I'll be right back. Hi, Bill Shoemaker. Love and appreciate you. Lisa Marie, Vernay, Craig, James. Great for you guys to be on here. I'm pretty fired up. Just got done doing a Zoom for Laszlo Kuhn, my first 250K, and Hungary. So pretty awesome. John Tier, hi Mary, Linda, Eric, Arthur, Shauna. Are we there? We're there. Okay. James Saunders. Um, Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. Today's title is I Always Can Get a Job. Now, I know one of the things that a lot of people deal with, again, is programming, right? Our programming. That's why they call it TV programming, right? So, we get programmed, and it's hard to step away from that programming. And one of the funny things is I can remember, we always listen to they. My joke has always been the people with the t-shirts to say, what would they think? What would they say? Right. And I remembered early on, I just, learning to be a mechanic. I just loved to be a mechanic. I always loved to do what is called KAIZEN, right? It's this never ending improvement. I always wanted to be able to do a brake job faster than anybody. I wanted to be a master automotive technician. So that means I could do anything on a car, from rebuilding the transmission, rear end, motors, everything. And so, I became an alignment specialist and then also became a smog specialist, right? And so there's not a thing on an automobile that I couldn't do, including building one from the ground up. So I knew how to do fabricating, I knew how to do body work, uh, you know, build suspension parts, frames, everything. And I say that all to you is I guess there's a large group of people on the planet that don't need to be anymore, right? And then there are people that are just consistently wanting to do better, that 1% better each and every day over a year, 365% better than you were. And because I always was that person that was going the extra mile and getting better and getting better and getting better and getting better, I always had other places that were trying to take me away from the job that I was at. Are you guys listening to this? Because there was a lot of things, even believe it or not, I worked for Midas for a while. I worked for Goodyear for a while. I also worked for Kmart mechanic, if I didn't say that. And so I would get involved and I would go to these certification classes. And at these certification classes was always this service manager. So that's the manager that runs the whole service department. And they would find out how many hours and how much that I was billing. And so they'd say, well, what is that company offering you? Well, what are you getting paid right now? I'm getting paid $10 an hour. We'll pay you 12 plus this and plus this and plus this. I was like, okay. And it was unique in the mechanics world because if I went to the person that hired me, I would very simply say to them, hey, listen, I met this service manager from this dealership, and Bert Arland was the first big dealership I worked for here in Billings, Montana. And when I went to work there, I told the guy at Goodyear, Harry Staley, I still know him really, really well. And he still does all the tire work and everything we do on our Teslas and our Escalades. And he always loves when I bring the cars in there. He's actually done tire work on my Rolls Royce Ghost. And so we always see me coming in there, bringing these new vehicles in. And he's just like, dang, man, you were one of the best mechanics I've ever had, but you just keep getting better and better. You just keep getting gooder and gooder. And so I went to Harry and I said, Harry, listen, Bert Arland, Chrysler, Jeep, they want to pay me $12 an hour. And he's like, Robert, I can't pay you that. And I remember everyone I told this to because I wanted to stay there. I wanted to be loyal, right? Is as soon as I did that, they would say, well, listen, you don't have to give me a 2 weeks notice. You can leave right now. So they'd always get sort of offended, you know, that I would ask for a raise. And guess what? I didn't get the memo because I didn't have anyone that was doing what I was doing. So I didn't have anybody to walk up to and go, hey, what do you do if you're making $10 an hour and someone approaches you from another dealership and says they'll pay you $12 an hour? What do you do? Because why I never asked anybody? Because everybody would go, someone's going to pay you more money for doing exactly the same thing? Yeah, do it. But I always had this sense of responsibility and loyalty. So I would always go back to the people that were already hiring me. And sometimes this happened within 30 days. Sometimes this happened within 90 days. Sometimes this happened within 6 months. So I went from job to job to job to job to job to job. And all of a sudden I ran across somebody one day and he goes, Robert, I thought you were working for Kmart. I said, yeah, but Harry Stately said he'd pay me more. And he goes, you're not working with Harry Stately and Goodyear anymore? And I said, no, I'm working with Bert Arland. He goes, because they pay me more. And then he was going like, hey, listen, if your resume is not going to look good, you gotta be careful about your resume. And I was going, no one's ever asked me for a resume. And he's going, yeah, and I go, what do you mean? I already have a job when I asked for the raise at the other group. So when I call up Bert Arland's, service manager and said, listen, Harry said that I could leave immediately. Can I start immediately? Yeah, bring your toolbox down. Let's go. And so there was always they that was saying, what about your resume? And I'm going, listen, any person that you call and ask them if they would give me a referral letter, hey, they're going to give you a referral letter. I'm a guy that got great work ethic. I got great attitude. I always do more than I say I'm going to do. I'm always going the extra mile. So with that little bit of experience, that's when I decided to go out in California. And so Midas hired me sight unseen and paid for my expenses. And guess where I first moved to in California? Palo Alto. So, the tech industry is like one of the most expensive, what is it called? Zip codes in the world. So I'm up there and I just wanted to work for them to get a transfer. So that was the first place that they put me in. And then I immediately wanted any Midas dealership that was available in California. I mean, LA. And so they seen what I did. I think I wasn't even in there a month, but they wanted me to go there to get trained by one of their people. And then when I went in there, I actually knew more than they did. And so it didn't take them long to say, okay, we want to transfer him. And they transferred me to El Monte, California. Now, when I went there, it blew me away because it's like, I've never seen graffiti. And the whole Midas place was just full of graffiti. And I'm like, I don't care. I doing exhaust work or doing brakes or doing oil changes and small tune-ups, that's pretty simple stuff. An average person that understands a little bit about automobiles can do that and not even be called a mechanic, right? And so it wasn't taking long before I did that. And then they asked, said, listen, do you want to go get some more certifications? And the reason that the service manager would always ask me if I wanted to get more schooling is because they could charge more dollar per hour. See, if you're just a normal mechanic, they can charge, but if you're a certified mechanic, you get charged a little more. But then if you're a master automotive technician, then you got charged. They could charge more. And plus, they got this little sign that they could put a little sign where you guys could see up there. James, man, you're gonna make me cry. I love you so, 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 so much. I'm so excited to be able to do a Zoom with you guys on Tuesday. And so, man, that's a super chatter, James Saunders. That money goes directly to children that I take care of. I got taken away from my parents when I was really, really young and grew up in foster homes and stuff like that. So I got a group, that I take care of all these kids. You are just amazing, James. I love you. I love you. I love you. So going back to my story is like all of a sudden I went to these certifications and there was a Toyota rep there. And the Toyota rep looked at me and he says, what's a master automotive technician working at Midas? And I said, they paid for me to move from Montana. And he goes, that's a great answer. And he says, listen, he says, I don't care what they're paying you. I will pay you more. And I said, okay. And I believe the first one was like North Hollywood Toyota or something like that. And so, my wife and I at that time were in Simi Valley, California, and I was driving like 2.5 hours on my motorcycle to El Monte. So this was like crazy. And so, I went there. Then all of a sudden, when all the Toyota reps knew who I was, oh my God, I don't think I stayed at a dealership. No way did I stay at a dealership more than 6 months. Now, I know this sounds weird to the rest of the world, but I'm just telling you what it is. So then I started getting every Toyota certification I could get. And so it was like, then the next one. And my whole goal was to work with Roger Penske. Gotta have a vision. Gotta have a vision. And I said, I would like to work for the largest dealership in the world. And it's Longo Toyota back in El Monte. And so now I'm working for Roger Penske. That's one of his 700 dealerships. It's crazy. And now I'm working with the best of the best. But I had to take a lot of little steps to get there. And a lot of people don't want to take those little steps. See, they just want, hey, can I start at $25 an hour for the best dealership in the world? And then, of course, from there, then I was working for Toyota Research and Development. That's the place that was building all the race equipments. And then I just kept stepping up and up and up and up and up. It just really I was on the fast track, if you want to say that. But the fast track was because I was actually envisioning it. Vision inspires success in others now. And then that's what I did. So I said all this to say that all of a sudden I get hurt on the job, right? I always love saying this. I wasn't that smart. We were working on a Toyota van, the first ones that came out, and they were front wheel drive. And the people sat over the front. The engine was in the front. So they had a lot of problems with stable, like they got in a lot of wrecks because there was like no weight in the back and everything was sitting over the front axle. And so we were checking it out, trying to figure out how to troubleshoot it and make sure that it wasn't going to hurt anyone. We took the tires, we raised it up, took the tires off, and then all of a sudden the van started tipping. And my first thought was to stop it from tipping. I lost. I lost. So it pinned me up against my toolbox. It took my right knee, and just took it all the way to the ground. Almost got it, close to amputation. It just hyperextended everything. And now the next thing I know, I'm going to the hospital. And so I'm in the ER room, and the doctor looks at me and he goes, you're a mechanic? And I said, yeah. And the very first words that he said is, not anymore. So you got to really, really listen to what people are saying to you and who you're listening to. So now my identity's gone. It's totally, totally gone. And I'm on workman's comp making $900 a month. I can't pay on my bills. I'm losing everything, my toolbox, I'm cars, motorcycles, everything, right? I can't pay my electricity. Terry, my wife now of 40 years, she goes back to Montana. I take my son, Darcy, he's Robert Hollis Jr. And what he did is went back and lived with his mom. I had him when I was 20, and things were dark, really, really, really dark. And having the repo man, trying to find my car. You guys have heard this story before. And now all of a sudden I'm like, praying to God, please give me an answer. Just give me an answer. And now it's the title. See, I always said, I can always get a job. I can always get a job. I can always get a job. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this phrase ever, but I was looking for a job when I found this one. So I know a lot of people that have a job might or don't have a job, are not interested in getting a job, are never making more money or having more freedom. They're just complacent. So people are complacent. They're, don't get mad at me for saying this, but they're sheeple. You know what I mean? They're just, learned hopelessness, victims, excuse-itis. They got every reason in the world not to make their lives better, not to look at something and learn something new. I'm just not that guy. So I remember when I decided to do, network marketing with a company called National Safety Associates, NSA, and this was back in 1987. And so, Sean meets me. Of course, it's in my book. Look at, I'm moving better. Yay. Go to roberthollis.com/free, get a copy of it for free. Bestseller on Amazon, and in 3 categories. And so all of a sudden, I was saying, listen, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to learn directly from this guy, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to make income, because I can always get a job. I can always get a job. I can always get a job. And now we live in an economy where no one wants to work. I mean, you pull in front of a McDonald's and there's a signing bonus. They're giving people signing bonuses. And I know some of you are, watch this live or recorded. Well, I never work at McDonald's. I will work anywhere to provide for my family. So I learned from someone not to need a job anymore. He said, Robert, listen, it's better to work for profits than wages. What? I don't understand. Found that out. He got that from Jim Rohn. And that you got to use leverage and you got to use residual, and you can figure this out. And I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. And so my whole thought was, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do as much as I can, as fast as I can. I'm going to get 70 people to watch the video in my first 30 days. And I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to sell out and go all out. And what's the worst thing that could happen? I got to go get a job. So I don't want to scare anybody here and say, listen, you should go full time. Quit your job and do this full time. I'm not saying that. A majority of the people in my industry, the majority of people in my group are part-time, the magic of part-time. But if you're not putting the consistent hours in on a day-to-day basis that you're putting in your full-time job, then you're in trouble. See what I mean? So if you play with anything, that it's going to play with you. And so that's why I sold out, asked my mentor exactly what I needed to do. He said, get excited about changing your life. What are you going to do with that kind of money? And then reach out to people, connect with them, and then ask them to do you a huge personal favor. Ask them if they know anyone that wants to make any money. And I go, okay, deal. So my first 45 days, I made over $10,210, and I never looked back. I never look back. To think that, now I'm in the network marketing Hall of Fame. Every company that I've gone to, I've done better than the ones before. So you look at all these trophies, And it's like, I'm stepping up my game, stepping up my game, stepping up my game. Just keep making more and more money, helping more and more people, making enough money to help, children all over the world, helping my inner circle members, my super chatters. My life is amazing. And it's just going to continue to level up. It's just going to continue to get gooder and gooder. Perfect timing. Great. So I love and appreciate each and every one of you. If no one's ever giving you permission to succeed and be happy and fulfilled in life, let me give that to you. My mentors did that to me. And again, I believe in you. If I can do it, you can do it. Most people just spend too much time overthinking, trying to get rid of the old programming instead of just going ahead. Today I did my first training about the Akashic Gold Bot to one of my largest groups in Hungary. And I don't want to get off track here, but do you guys know that Hungary and Romania are the two poorest countries in Europe? See, there's people there that I was showing my total amount in the last 20 days. I made $719 in profit with the Gold Bot. And people are saying, do you know that's more than a monthly salary of the average person of Hungary? It chokes me up. So I will continue to find people all over the world that want a better lifestyle, and they're willing to do something to do it, right? They're willing to be coachable. They're willing to learn how to do things a certain way. They get to learn how to duplicate, and they can go out and change the world. So I believe in you, and I love you and appreciate you. Please do me a huge personal favor and share this video with people that, hey, you know what? You could change your life, or you could continue just, barely getting by. I don't think that you were put on this planet to just barely get by, worrying paycheck to paycheck. So again, thank you so much, James. I love and appreciate you. What a awesome, awesome blessing you are. And we'll talk to you guys all soon. See you on the next video. Bye for now.